What postpone?
Right, welcome back, guys. Welcome back. Uh, you know, the connection got cut, so we had to set up a new stream. The link is out, so you can join us. Right. So you're continuing with the video. So before you talk about the pooling of losses, right, and then the payment of the unexpected losses, right. So as and when you suffer the loss, you get paid, and then risk transfer means that the person going for the insurance is transferring their risk to the insurance company. So that's a risk insurance component under the characteristic. Then indemnification means that as and when you suffer the loss, they indemnify you, they pay you or they compensate you for the loss that you have suffered. That's what the indemnification means. Right. So the next item on our outline is what? The ideal characteristics of an insurable risk, right? So this is to say that before the insurance company will decide to insure, yes, shout.
Please, what slide is that? Ideal characteristics of an insurance.
But Mr. They search on the crowd. Right. So slide 16. Slide 16. Right. So once again, let me share the link again. Apparently, the thing did though. But my sorry, why? That's right, new link. Right. Sorry, I drop on it. So the ideal characteristics of an insurable risk. That is to say that what makes a risk insurable? Right? What are the ideal characteristics that a risk should possess before the insurance company will step in and say that, okay, we'll insure this risk for you. So the first one says what? There must be a large number of exposure units. Right? There must be a large number of exposure units. So this characteristic is based on the law of large numbers. The law of large numbers states that the greater the number of losses, the greater the number of exposures, the more closely will the actual results approach the probable results that are expected from an infinite number of exposure units. So we'll explain that, right? So the purpose of this is to enable the insurer to predict the loss based on the law of large numbers. That's what I just read. The law that states that the greater the number of will the actual results approach the probable results, right? So if you are going for insurance too, the insurance company must be able to predict the losses, right? They should be able to predict it, the size, the frequency, and all that. That's what will enable them to know whether or not they can insure it. And I'm saying that the more exposure units there are, the more accurately the insurance company can predict um, your loss, right? And that makes it measurable, so they can determine that okay, we'll pay you will pay us this premium of maybe 1,000 Ghana cedis every month, and as and when your loss comes, we can speculate and do everything. So, right. So I think that so,
Like, take it again, take it again.
so there must be a large number of exposure units. Right? There must be a large number of exposure units. So what is an exposure unit? The exposure unit is a basic unit of risk underlining insurance premium or the risk being insured. Right? That's what the exposure unit is. Right? The risk that you are insuring. So if you are insuring this mobile phone, it could encompass a whole lot of things. It could include the phone being stolen, the screen cracking, faults coming on the phone that you want to go and repair, and so on. You are saying that the more exposure units there are, the more easily the insurance company can predict, with accuracy, the cost, the cost that the cost that they'll be incurring as and when you suffer those losses. Are you following?
Yes.
Right. So it says that the loss cost can then be spread
Yes.
over all insureds in the underwriting class. So before a risk is insurable, it must possess that characteristic. That what it must have a large number of exposure units. Are you following? Right. The next one is what? The loss must be accidental and unintentional. So that's self-explanatory, right? So as and when you suffer the loss, it should be accidental. This means that a large proportion of exposure units should not incur losses at the same time. Insurers ideally wish to avoid all catastrophic losses. In reality, catastrophic losses periodically result from floods, hurricanes, tornadoes, basically natural disasters, and then terrorism. Right. So basically speaking, catastrophic is on a large scale, right? It's on a large scale. So let's say that the insurance company has
Okay, so basically speaking, the catastrophic losses. You see, let's take an example like this: the Circle incident, the June 3rd Circle incident, where the flood happened. So that's you can categorize that as a catastrophic loss, right?
yeah,
Because then
exactly,
there were more loss exposures that were
exactly.
okay. So that's an example, people.
Yes,
June
but
3rd.
they periodically result, so other things can cause them.
Okay.
So an ideal risk or an insurable risk must have no catastrophic loss, right?
Is that a catastrophic is that a catastrophic loss? Like the insurance company the insurance like insurance company spends more or what?
Yes,
That's why they try to avoid it.
yes, they very good. They will spend more, and it is because of the catastrophic loss that we have the concept of reinsurance. So we'll learn this in the next chapter, but we can just talk about it briefly. Reinsurance is the insurance of insurance companies.
Huh?
Insurance company also has insurance. So when
Okay.
insurance
Yeah,
company
yeah.
goes for insurance, it's called reinsurance.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you getting it? So in case of catastrophic losses, they have insurance, right? Just like you, the individual. You know
You
that if
have
your house
insurance.
burns down,
You have the insurance.
to you it's a catastrophic loss, right?
Okay.
But the insurance company can pay you for that. But imagine a case where the insurance company has about 1,000 of their clients all having their houses burned down. In that case, they will need to fall back on their reinsurance before they can. I think. Yes, because the whole idea of the insurance is that all of us will not suffer the risk at the same time. So as and when I'm taking your money, I'm taking some for myself. So I have the pool over there. As and when one person suffers the loss, I take money and I give to them.
Okay, so with the example of the person who started insurance like this, so if their members, if they were to steal all their bikes, that is a
That
catastrophic.
would be a catastrophic loss.
Okay.
Exactly. So the fifth one says what? calculable chance of loss. The probability of the loss occurring should be calculable, right? You should be able to calculate it. That's what that means, basically. Right. Six says the premium being the money that the policyholder, the person who has the insurance, will be paying periodically. It should be economically feasible, right? So these are the characteristics of an ideal loss, of an insurable risk. The ideal characteristics of an insurable risk, right? So up next, talk about gambling and insurance. Right, the difference between gambling and insurance. Yes. Right. So, what are the differences between gambling and insurance? So, right now, gambling on one hand creates a new speculative risk, whilst insurance is a technique for handling an already existing pure risk, right? So when you go and you're gambling, there is a chance of you winning, there's a chance of you losing, right? That's why we call it a speculative risk. Because speculative risk can go both ways. They could have a positive outcome, and they could also have a negative outcome,
Sure.
right?
But let man down, bro.
So gambling creates a new speculative risk. But insurance, on the other hand, is a technique that we use to handle an already existing pure risk. Right? No new risk is created by the transaction. Right? So a pure risk is a risk in which only negative outcomes are possible. Right? Yes. So that we learned that pure risk, you have what? Property risk and personal risk, right? Everybody will die one day. Everybody will die one day. Like those are the
Everybody go quiet.
exactly pure risk. So that's basically it. Like,
So, okay, I just,
With the pure risk, can we also say liability risk is also an example of?
yes. So it falls under the types of pure risk. Thank you. So now hedging and insurance, or insurance and hedging compared. For that, so insurance transfers a pure risk because the requirements of an insurable risk generally can be met, while hedging involves the transfer of a speculative risk, right? So you can say that insurance involves the transfer of pure risk, but hedging involves the transfer of speculative risk, right? Also, insurance is a risk management technique for insurable risk. You know,
please take that again.
we learned that in week two. That's what the techniques for treating loss exposures. We have risk transfer. Under risk transfer, we have what? Insurance. So insurance is a method or a technique for handling, insurable risk, right? But hedging is a risk management technique for uninsurable risk. So I think that those risks that the insurance company will tell you that no way, master, we cannot give you insurance for this risk. You can use hedging to transfer that risk, right, or to manage it. Now, lastly, insurance reduces the risk and then transfers it. Insurance, it reduces the risk and then transfers it as well. But hedging only transfers the risk, right? Hedging only transfers the risk. So thank you very much. We would have loved to, add the week 7, but we'll do that next time. So you can catch us Mondays to Thursdays for they will find it because the timetable will be out soon on our WhatsApp platform. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and leave a comment. Thank you very much.
Shout out to our viewers today, yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
But